primary smoke has cleared, the lines are drawn, and the countdown to November is officially on. From the high-stakes battle for the U.S. Senate to the crucial fight for the governor's mansion, Texas is the ultimate political battleground. We break down the fierce congressional matchups that could reshape Washington and the statewide races that will redefine Texas. This is Battleground Texas.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rudy Koski in Austin.
I'm Greg Grugan in Houston.
And I'm Stephen Dial in Dallas. This is Battleground Texas. The dust has settled on the May runoff, and now the matchup is set. Talarico versus Paxton. I talked a day after the runoff election with Paxton beating convincingly Senator John Cornyn. I talked to the Democratic nominee, James Talarico.
I will be the Democrats' #1 target in November.
After a blowout in the May runoff, knocking out Senator John Cornyn, the stage is set. A November showdown between Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton and State Representative James Talarico.
You mentioned Ken Paxton's baggage, and it's been well publicized. You mentioned 3 years ago today he was impeached by his own party, yet he's the Republican nominee. What do you think that says about the state of politics in Texas?
I've served for 4 terms in the State House. I've brought Democrats and Republicans together to pass 60 bipartisan bills to lower property taxes, to lower housing costs, to lower prescription drug costs, including insulin. Ken Paxton doesn't have a legislative record. He has a criminal record, and I look forward to prosecuting the case against him in the weeks and months ahead.
He's a threat to our very way of life and our values. I mean, he's a vegan who thinks God is non-binary and that there's actually 6 biological sexes. It's hard to imagine someone more radical than that. No matter what he says or how much he raises, the reality is that James Talarico is going to be nothing more than a Texas-based puppet for Chuck Schumer and the National Democrats.
President Trump has called you weird. You've been called low T Talarico. Ken Paxton's calling you, Talarico. How do you wade through the noise in this to still try to get your message?
I think if Ken Paxton is worried about freaks, he should stop giving Epstein-style sweetheart deals to pedophiles. This is the guy who just released Adam Hoffman, a admitted child predator. And he did it after one of Ken Paxton's wealthy lawyer friends got involved in the case. And Adam Hoffman was supposed to get 25 years to life in prison, but he only served 1 month. And as of this week, he's back out on the streets because of Ken Paxton's corruption.
No matter what you call him, let me tell you this. James Talarico is a threat to everything we hold dear in this state and in this country. He's a threat to our security and our safety.
Is this a situation where even if there's tremendous Democrat turnout in November, do you see it as you still need some people who may vote for a Governor Abbott to vote for you, may vote for a Mace Middleton to also vote for you to win in November?
Absolutely. We have to build a big tent of Democrats, independents, and Republicans if we're going to defeat the most corrupt politician in America. Last night I thanked John Cornyn for his service to our state. He and I don't agree on everything, but we both believe that these public offices should be about serving our neighbors, not serving ourselves.
The high-stakes accusations and political ad wars are already heating up in the brutal November showdown for the U.S. Senate. Let's welcome back our political panel to bring us the latest in this week's Battleground Texas.
This is Texas. This is not.
There are many more than 2 biological sexes. In fact, there are 6.
This is Texas. This is not.
The American flag is such a complicated symbol for most of us.
This is Texas. This is not.
They're going to call me a radical leftist.
This is Texas. This is not.
Something that you love that's not family or friends.
I love, and just say this because it's on my mind, the trans children.
This is not.
Something just happened in Texas. The most corrupt politician in America just became the Republican nominee for the United States Senate. For 50 years, mega donors and their puppet politicians like Ken Paxton have stolen from us with their bribes, their bailouts, and their billionaire tax breaks. Ken Paxton has gotten away with it. They've all gotten away with it. But that ends this year.
All right, safe to say that both campaigns are in fighting shape. Rudy Koski, what do you make of this November matchup?
Ooh, boy, it's a heavyweight match, right? Looks like the summer campaign for both Paxton and Talarico is going to involve a lot of rewriting history and walking back past statements. We knew that the Talarico camp would be blitzed with his past comments, easy shots to blow up the "I'm a moderate" pitch that we've heard from James. His walkbacks on God and barbecue, more like a sprint after the primary votes were counted. Now, Paxton in his rewrite is equally amazing. His supporters sounding like members of a cult defending their anointed one, defending all his political dirty work, some even saying that it didn't even happen. You'd think listening to Paxton's camp, not only is he the husband of the year, but also the best boss ever. You know, expect summertime red and blue Kool-Aid, a lot to be served up. The question remains, will moderate Republicans, independent voters drink up, accept the spin? If so, which cup gets served? Stephen?
That's true, Rudy. A lot of names have been called here, especially on the Talarico side. Targeted at Talarico. Greg Talafrico is one of those names, Ken Paxton said. In the Talarico campaign, I had to go online and verify it. They are selling T-shirts that say, "I'm a Talafrico." Good strategy?
Why not? If you can't be macho, might as well be funny, right? Look, the grand gamble is now fully underway. Texas Republicans wagering that the state is still red enough to nominate and elect a candidate which many folks of both political persuasions have deemed morally repugnant and demonstrably corrupt. And with the rolling of those dice, all eyes turn to the alternative, James Talarico, who comes into this matchup with not just Ken Paxton's character flaws to focus on, but also a grumbling midterm electorate with a growing sense of buyer's remorse when it comes to Donald J. Trump, who simply has yet to deliver average households anywhere close to the level of enhanced prosperity he promised over and over and over again. On the contrary, wages don't meet costs. Healthcare coverage for far too many is financially crippling. Job opportunities for young adults remain scarce. Inflation lingers stubbornly. And our military is deployed in an on-again, off-again shooting war as we prepare to cut big checks to people who assaulted cops and trashed the nation's capital. Bottom line, if millions of Texans can look past Paxton's shady past, perhaps just as many will dismiss Talarico's ludicrously far-left past proclamations. Guys, let the games begin.
Oh, yeah, and the political knives are already sharp. Greg, you know, Talarico admitted in that interview, he said he needs someone who votes Governor Abbott and Mays Milton to also cross over and vote for him. Easier said than done?
Stephen, TBD, to be determined, dark clouds for sure, courtesy of Donald Trump's shenanigans and perceived overreach. Headwinds, no doubt, with inflation and a sketchy job market. But if I'm a Republican, I'm arguing, do you really believe the Democrats can make it better? I mean, what's their plan? Higher taxes and handouts? A relaxation of a border we just got control of? Reinstatement of DEI? Borrowing $3 trillion per year instead of $2 trillion? Adding D.C. and Puerto Rico as blue states? Expanding the Supreme Court? When put that way, the status quo may not look so bad to a lot of Texas voters. Stephen?
Rudy, could Talarico get some Republicans to vote for him, but also vote on the Republican ticket?
Yeah, Stephen, that's going to be a really hard sell. I see moderate Republicans taking a pass on the Senate race in November completely when they go into the voting booth before they're going to vote for Talarico. Now, a few may secretly vote for Talarico, but I doubt that there's going to be any kind of MAGA Mays types defections. Independents seem to be the easier group that's going to be swayed. That's going to be the big question. We're seeing somewhat of a sway in Williamson County back in March with independent voters leaning left. Will that lean continue? Is that a trend, a tactical crossover? Regardless, the Republicans have got a lot to do fence mending.
I'm Atiana San Miguel. Thank you for watching our story. If you'd like to see more like it, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to watch us weekday mornings at 7 and 11 a.m. on KCWX. Bye. See you on the next one.